Welcome back again. Weekly Tesla talk.
Wait, we had a good comment, right? We're the dumbest people on Earth or something?
Yeah. No, it was so super funny. The latest video we put online, there was this one comment that says, like, this is verbatim, but this might be the dumbest group of people I've ever heard. Thanks.
That's right.
Let's use as a tagline.
Kees,
let's start it.
Have you been to the Women's March this weekend?
Yes.
Yeah. How was it? Have you been protesting?
Insane. Yeah.
In Paris.
Amsterdam, Paris, everywhere. Women's March, right? So
yeah. I went topless. Because I have some boobies.
Okay. Kees.
Yeah. What about those nipples?
No.
It's freezing again.
Yeah, it's 16 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And look who decided to wear a sweater.
Yeah.
He does this every single time.
Yeah. And then he says, like, it's good for your metabolism. So suck it up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was dressing up nicely because Kenny was coming for an interview. He's dressed up nice today in the podcast.
And I've been seeing you guys for the last couple of weeks, always with shirts. So I thought, okay.
You know what the funny thing is?
He
He had exactly the same shirt that I'm now wearing last week.
Yeah,
the blue shirt.
Was, just a crazy opener's question, but I was a bit feverish, so I was scrolling on X and then apparently the Women's March was going on in Amsterdam. So I was already like very surprised that the Women's March was attracting like 20,000-ish women and also a bunch of men that were walking there. March. Because, life in the Netherlands as a woman is very hard, right? Or I don't know. But the main figure, the people were protesting was Elon. There, so a lot of people walking with Elon signs.
It had little to do with feminism.
Not so much, but Palestina flags were being waved, so a whole bunch of things were being put together there. But there was also, I think, very apparently how NGOs in the Netherlands and Europe are steering up these kind of things. So one of them was. How's it called? Where they free prisoners that are the NGO that helps people that are stuck in prison in countries. A very famous one.
Amnesty International.
Amnesty, not Amnesty International. The other one with the
no clue.
Yeah, no
I don't
clue.
know.
But normally they're all very they did very brave things in the past. But now it's all just pure woke agenda and bashing Elon. So I was very surprised to see a lot of Elon stuff going on.
It's just demonstrating for the sake of demonstrating, and it's there should be a clear agenda, which apparently
but
there
Damien is actually suggesting that for him it's pretty normal that NGOs are behind this. But for me, that's something.
Yeah.
For me, I just read this morning that. The whole protest in the US is probably financed, and that Elon is actually looking into this, how it is financed.
Yeah.
But you're actually saying it already happens in the Netherlands through NGOs, or is it just organized?
It's happening for years already in the US. So the NGOs are many ways the arm of the government that can rally certain things like Black Lives Matters, and a lot of social unrest is actually being funded by the government that funds those NGOs together with all the, you always sound like a crazy person when you start mentioning the name George Soros, but he plays all this social arbitrage on those
but for
NGOs.
you, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is for you, that's like common sense. Of course, it's for me, it's not.
No, okay.
Not at all. I mean, for me, this is all new.
And in a democracy, like you have like a civil society that they can vote. That's the first thing, and they have the right to protest. So you would think that this is a basic cornerstone of democracy. And being able to protest, and you wouldn't assume that it's government funded, because once we all agree that it's government funded, then what are we doing?
The name of an NGO is literally non-government organization.
Yeah, so it shouldn't be government funded, right? It's a non-governmental organization.
Exactly. But unfortunately, they're very, very tied into each other. So what we have been seeing in the US, but also in Western Europe for a very long time, is that those NGOs are basically weaponized to fund these kind of agendas and these kind of protestings. And it's just the matter of what is the cause of the month, of the week. So be it Ukraine, be it Palestine, be it now Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and those NGOs will basically run forward and push. They invite all their mailing lists, etc., to come protest. Many what we see in the US with ActBlue now, for example, is that we see paid protesters. So people that are being paid actually to show up.
Where can I sign up?
Huh? Yeah,
It seems like a good job.
Well, I don't think for that wage you will be there. So it's people that more or less already have those interests, and they got triggered to do that.
But is the jury already out? I mean, you're presenting it. This has been happening for years. It's all these non-government organizations, etc.
Yeah, it's basically.
But I think what I woke up about is I'm not sure if this is true.
Yeah,
but I'm reading about it and I'm trying to learn. Okay, could this be true?
Yeah, I'm inclined not to believe it because that would shatter my worldview even more. And we're not a right-wing conspiracy theorist podcast, guys.
I think it's a little bit nuanced as well, right? So I think Elon explained it last time that there's also people who are doing good work in those NGOs, which are being sponsored by the government, to do some kind of research where they just need money from. So I think in Holland, for example, we also spent, and you can have a whole debate about it, but about slavernijverleden, so our slavery past, right? So they provide money so people can get together, think about it, etc. So that's also some of the tax dollars that we pay that are going to there.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's different than what's happening to the Tesla stores right now, where people actually shooting at the stores, etc. And you believe it's all funded?
Yes, so I want to talk about this actually. Like we've seen a lot of protests the last week. And I saw you did a post on X where you asked Grok what ActBlue is and how does it relate to to these uprisings. What did you find? What did Grok find together with you?
I can't remember.
but honestly, I think
I started this road into a rabbit hole. Yeah. And I'm still not sure what I have to think about it. Yeah. But for me, ActBlue is something which is, for me, is a completely new name. I've never heard about them.
ActBlue is the funding arm for the Democratic Party. So they use ActBlue to collect funds for events, for all sorts of for election events, to organize rallies and all those kind of things. But it's also become some sort of shell organization where they basically have funding for whatever they want to do, right? So, and it's one of the arms that also has like a lot of billionaire donors. So, for example, Reid Hoffman is one of the famous contributors to.
That's what I learned through Grok.
And he got blamed big time, or like called out by Omar's blog. And Reid Hoffman went into a hefty discussion on X.
Really? Yeah. What did he say? I didn't see it.
Well, let me first play a clip of one of these protests. I'll put it up on the screen right now and make it picturing. It's a 2-minute video where you can see that this account Spitfire, he posts ActBlue in action in a Manhattan Tesla showroom. Just watch for yourself.
Not another billionaire! Everybody out, bring it out over here.
This fucker will also claim police brutality.
This guy, didn't he just want to buy a car?
Yeah.
He asked for too much discount, Kenny.
Could be me then.
We need clean air, not another billionaire. We need clean air.
We need clean air.
We need clean air, not another billionaire. We need clean air, not another billionaire. We need clean
Yeah, but you have people doing this at Shell as well, right? Here in the Netherlands, Shell oil company, people sitting on the roads demonstrating. So
Yeah, well,
This might like this.
I think it paints a picture. Yeah.
It paints a clear picture, and there's tons of videos like this out there, and also some a lot of damage to people driving their Tesla, and also in New York there was a Cybertruck driving with a family inside of it, and there's this lunatic guy like smashing on the vehicle. Like it's insane what they're doing.
Yeah, okay, but you have to imagine that in the US, like I think half the population or more than half the population voted for Trump, right? And Trump is Elon. And also half the population voted against Trump. So against Elon in that sense as well. And it's polarizing there. But I think in the Netherlands, like the more I talk to people about Elon, the less they are happy about him, right? And all that he does, etc. So
Yeah, but turn it around. If this were to happen from like the Republican side, and they would be inciting violence in their discourse, in their dialogue, the whole world would turn against them. And
okay,
apparently
this has happened before, because you've also seen it here in the Netherlands with Shell, where people were against oil and gas, also protesting on the streets, protesting on the highways, etc. Yeah, we had the farmers doing exactly the same in the Netherlands, protesting.
The point it's not about the protest or actually what they are doing. I mean, if they are organized through an NGO and they are actually...
Yeah, so
they are organized because they have the same kind of belief system and they are fighting for good stuff. But what I'm learning is that they are paid people. So they are not fighting for the cause. They're just being paid.
There's no ideal behind it.
That's for me, it's a complete different story.
Yeah.
Well, but that's still a question mark, right? And I mean...
No, this happens a lot. So you have... many times, in order to paint your enemy in a sort of bad way, you organize protests and you have people that are being paid actors that are escalating the situation. So they are paid to cause riots. They are paid to steer unrest within the group of people.
But these are our theories, you know.
Exactly.
It's no theory.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I just said the jury is not out of this yet.
It's not proven.
It's not proven, but that's what I think Doge is doing right now. They are trying to prove this and just following the money in order to see if this is true.
Yeah. So the term for that is...
Or am I wrong? Am I...
The term for...
I'm on the same... Like, I haven't seen hard data on it.
So the term on when you organize protests and you have people that are disturbing those kind of programs, those names are agents provocateurs. And that's a very used strategy in sort of these kind of social unrest situations.
Also a lingerie brand, right?
Agent provocateur. But it's really interesting to look.
I'm wearing it right now.
It's really interesting to look into it. So for maybe next time I can have a video about this whole agent provocateurs stuff. So basically, strategy is you have a bunch of organizations that are organizing something that attracts people because they have mailing lists. You need at least some centralized organization to get anything done, right? So whatever type of organization you want to have, then there's people feeling strong for that cause because there are. But then they add agents provocateurs to it to sort of escalate that whole situation.
Like professional
rioters. Professional rioters.
So professional rioters, that's legal?
No, it's not a legal thing. So
it's still gray, or what how is it possible these guys are being paid? Is it like the soccer, like you had the amateurs where there were also some paid people? Or how does it work?
You mean match fixing?
Yeah. So
I mean,
so some paid supporters in an amateur league, which is actually unpaid. Okay. Yeah.
No. It's not like can I apply for a job of agent provocateur? That's
there's
not
no job profile for it.
there's no sort of job profile for that. But it's used by strategies to, for example, it happens in the Netherlands as well. During COVID, for example, there were riots in Den Haag. And because they want to have that group of people look bad. So then there are a couple of people that's stirring up this whole thing. So they have the argument to just wipe out the whole field.
Okay,
But what kind of hard evidence do we have for it?
Yeah, a lot. But there are a whole bunch of videos that we can have on
I'm really curious for that because I think we all would like to see this. If we can put this on the big screen. I just pulled back the post from Reid Hoffman. He's reposting an original post by Elon. And Elon here states, let's go to the real post. An investigation has found 5 ActBlue funded groups responsible for Tesla protests called Troublemakers, Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and Democratic Socialists of America. These ActBlue funders include George Soros, Reid Hoffman, Herbert Sandler, Patricia Baumann, and Leah Hunt Hendricks. ActBlue is currently under investigation for allowing foreign and illegal donations in criminal violation of campaign finance regulation. This week, 7 ActBlue senior officials resigned, including the Associate General Counsel. Okay, well, then Reid Hoffman states, just one more of Elon's false claims about me. I never funded anyone for Tesla protests. I don't condone violence, but it's clear Americans are angry at him. It's easier to explain away their anger than to accept that actions have consequences. Okay, first of all, Matt Smith did a wonderful reply to this. And he says, it's good to state I don't condone violence, but then doing a but is actually, you do condone it because you can totally agree why people get violent. So by posting this sentence behind it, it completely nullifies the former statement.
I don't agree.
And he's community noted already there. Look, there's a solid paper trail.
Yeah, and of course, like Robert Scoble reacts to this, but also Omar. So you can look this.
Okay, but
this
those
up.
are also pro Elon people, right?
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
Yeah, but let's see what community notes has to say about it, right? So.
It's a good thing that Elon also gets community noted.
No,
To create drama
the,
and a secret narrative.
the
yeah,
one.
so it actually says there was also no investigation.
Yeah.
No, the one of Reid Hoffman saying he does not fund because that one. There's a solid paper trail of. Is that a community note or is that a comment?
Where do you see? This one.
Does financially.
There's a solid paper trail of Reid Hoffman funding the Tesla protest. We click through and we go to Laura Loomer. I do recognize...
Yeah, I sent it in our WhatsApp. She actually...
Yeah.
She says she's an independent journalist and she found evidence. But I'm not sure whether this is evidence, yes or no.
Yeah, let's look at it.
No, but let me...
That's why I'm saying the jury is not out. But this is quite interesting because we're getting into a rabbit hole right now. Mm-hmm. And I think Elon is actually trying to figure out whether this is true because he also said in the Joe Rogan show that he was looking at just following the money. And he said these NGOs are all funded by the US aid and that those NGOs are funded by government. But for me, this is like completely out of my comfort zone to understand and really believe that this is true.
Yeah.
But I do think it's on the agenda right now, and especially with all these protests getting more violent and more violent by the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first post that you actually posted, it was like these groups should be noted as terrorist groups.
Yeah.
Could that something that we are actually going to? That
It might.
well, I mean that's quite an acquisition.
Yeah.
Or accusation. How do you say it?
One very
Accusation,
clear
yeah.
thing, let's super straight here, is like if you start destroying property of somebody else, it's an illegal thing to do. You cannot do that.
Shots fired.
Yeah, if you're shooting,
no jokes.
if you're shooting on a building where potentially people are in it, you're guilty of the potential of committing murder. So those kind of actions are terrorist organizations. So one of the organizations that is keep a hand above their head is the Antifa organization, a far left, sort of protest group. But the right word for them will be a terrorist group because it's always destroying, violating things. Same happens in the Netherlands, but how do you call protest when people start sitting on the highway and block thousands of cars for the daily work? Is that
The Extinction Rebellion.
something like that?
Peaceful
But we
protest.
also, it's super peaceful, but it costs millions and millions of euros for the working people doing that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, but like that's a protest is a protest that actually serves that purpose.
Yeah, but let me paint an example. So it could be that Reid Hoffman, I think, supports the Dems, right? The Democrats.
Yeah.
So he provided money to Act Blue or whatever, any organization.
Or via any super PAC.
Then on that organization, we have a guy called Kerem, for example. Just an example.
Who the fuck is
just
Kerem?
an example? No, but there's a guy. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel works there in that organization. Yeah, and it's a leftish organization or a party that's for the Democrats. Let's say. I mean, he could be paid by that party for just the work that he does for that party and show up at these
events.
At these events, right? It doesn't mean that he is funded by Reid Hoffman to destroy Tesla stores. So how are you ever going to, even if...
Yeah, it's difficult to, with hard evidence, to prove this.
I think so as well.
Yeah, let's see. But for me, it would be a naive worldview to think that violence and all the protest board, etc., is a sort of grassroots thing.
Well, the one benefit of it is that once this funding starts with, let's say, and we call it waste, anyways, then it will stop, right? But you could have a counter argument for the Democrats saying like we had on the 6th of January a couple of years ago with Donald Trump and his followers, right? The Republicans then storming into the Capitol. Maybe there were people who work for a campaigning company, will be an NGO, which is funded by Elon and Trump.
No.
Wouldn't that then be the same?
Yeah, I get your point. And January 6th is a whole different rabbit hole where...
Yeah, let's not go there because otherwise we'll never talk about Tesla. But
No, but that's also this is also very much assumed and used as a stick, like, January 6th. But if you look at all the materials that has been coming out on January 6th, a lot of peaceful people that are being led in the building, etc.
But you also saw pretty violent images, right?
Yeah, agent provocateurs again. So that's
an assumption.
Well, I've seen some clips. I do need to back Damien here. There are some clips there that you can clearly see that people are like being led inside the building.
Yeah.
And they are dressed up as protesters, covering their face. And at some point, they notice a camera. They start behaving completely different. And on all the security camera footage, you see that the guards actually let people inside. And it was all quite peaceful. But it was portrayed with clips and a certain narrative that he was pushing for violence. And it's becoming more and more clear.
Who's he?
But guys, let's not get into this rabbit hole.
It's a completely different one, and like there's arguments for both sides, but it's not as apparent as you would. Yeah.
Well,
think.
my point is there's a lot of assumption in those things. You see images.
For me as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not that hard, you know. So I think it's good to keep people accountable, etc.
Exactly.
But like all those.
But that's why what I found interesting from Doge initiative right now there's going to be finally maybe some proof for these kind of accusations.
Yeah, and at least it will become a
or-
lot more difficult for these things to happen, or if it's true that people can get away with it.
Yeah, but
Like,
I think
that's-
I think you
transparency is the sunlight.
I think there will not be. So that's my expectation. There will be no hard evidence. Like there's always a narrative, or like even if it is true, it's very hard to say it is.
Yeah,
and,
but
and
it's
who
less-
doesn't say the other side works the same?
Exactly, but like it will create difficulties for both sides to make use of this loophole by wiring money to an NGO and let stuff happen. Like for both sides, it will become less easy.
Yeah, okay, but they would be extremely naive if they would have an NGO that agenda says we're going to riot at Tesla and we're going to pay X people for it. That's not going to happen.
No, that's never going to happen. No.
So
Well, at least they can stop all the government funding, which is brought up by our taxpayer money,
yeah, if it doesn't end in
to all these
the right
NGOs
stuff,
where we are not sure what they're doing with the money.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Or,
which on itself is a good thing. Maybe also to stay there a little bit. So I follow the economy quite closely, and we had some discussion, right? So we had a discussion because you asked, Kees, you asked me like, what is being wrongdoing, or
Yeah, well, like we have a group chat, of course,
Yeah.
and you stated that the stock market is having like a terrible time the last couple of days.
I didn't mention the stock market.
No, but like you said that they're actively destroying things, and I was curious, like
Possibly.
what are they destroying? So
possibly destroying. Yeah. So just looking at the numbers and the expectations, is that Doge is the biggest employer of the US, right? There's like millions of people working there.
yeah, the U.S. government is the biggest employer. Yeah.
So if you throw out people, those people will not have.
They
maybe
will
they
lose
get a
that
payment
job,
or a severance payment for like 6 or 9 months, and then what are they gonna do? Huh? So there is an unknown there. Maybe it will go right. Maybe it will go wrong. You don't know. So that's gonna impact the system.
Yeah, then you have the low-skilled labor.
Then you have the immigrants. So the immigrants are like there's a lot of immigrants which are doing just work. You know,
yeah, just
working in the gardens,
low-skilled labor. Like
like building property, etc. Those people are leaving as well. Like, how are you going to fill in for the blanks? What's that going to do? Then on top of it, you have tariffs. Tariffs will make things more expensive because they will be charged on the consumer. I mean, otherwise the companies go bankrupt because they don't make any margin on it. I mean, retail, we know, it's not making 25% plus margin.
Yeah, at least in
Honestly.
the short term, this will be the result of a tariff.
Yeah, so this will be the result. And I think what the stock market normally does is it tries to anticipate. And I think what they anticipate is a possible recession. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Like nobody knows. But the impact that it has, and that's what we discussed last week as well after the podcast, is that for my opinion, or in my opinion, it's quite wild what they're doing. I'm not saying it's not from a good point of view or a good starting point, but I think it's quite wild. And I'm really curious if they've really calculated all the impacts it could have on the, let's say, short term, medium term, and long term.
Well, like there's always unintended side effects that you cannot really take into account for. But this, I do think like they are completely aware of the backlash that it will create. But in their opinion, and Reinhard Oerlemans stated this in a Dutch TV show pretty good.
Yeah, so he's a guy who comes from the Netherlands, now lives in the US for like 10 years or something.
He's
an
an
entrepreneur.
Media entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But they have some clearly defined election promises that they made. They need to live up to those promises, or else they'll risk of like going down in history like the biggest losers of all time. So they need to act fast, and they need to implement like really drastic, draconian measures almost to turn stuff around.
Why?
Because in the first 2 years of this new presidency, and they are in power, they can do whatever they want because they have the full mandate. They have the House, the Senate, and the popular vote. But after 2 years, the primaries start again, and the whole election process starts again. So the second half of the term, you cannot really do a lot as a government. So they need to act fast. Or
Yeah, I think the situation is straightforward. America is in huge debt. If they don't find a solution for their spending, which is out of control, they will default, and the West is gone. So that's the whole purpose why Doge will be there.
yeah, and that's their assumption. That's why they're doing this, and then that's exactly why Elon decided to step in and go from Democrat to the Republican, because he sees this as a fork in the road. Right?
It's a very urgent situation. And I think more and more governments will wake up to their situation. So, for example, Argentina, El Salvador have already been waking up for this before the US has been waking up. But also many countries in the rest of the world are buried under debt. And that just stifles your possibilities for the future. And yeah, it's a lot of short-term pain that is being taken right away. It's a matter of taste, I think. In a business, it's you see this quite often, where a business needs a certain turnaround, or a business needs a certain solution to solve its overspending. Sometimes it can be caused by a market that is declining, or something in that sense. And I do think the first stage right now of Doge is very much geared towards waste. So, of course, there are people that are not working or are obstructing work. So let's say there's somebody got elected in the country. Next day, whoever it is, you will go working, right? You will just do your work like you always do. But right now, there are people that are working for the government. They're not fan of the president that is selected, and they don't want to work anymore. Well, yeah. What do you do then? Keep them on the job, or try to talk them in working? No, basically, if you don't want to work, you should be fired. So, I think there's so much low hanging fruit right now that they're taking. And this transition is hard needed. And it can be that economy can be bad for the coming 2 years. A bit more on the positive side, but that's my nature maybe. But it can also be that you need first 2 years of pain to empty the bottle of poison, as we call it in the Netherlands, before it can start growing again. I think it would be good to have Milai's Argentina as sort of blueprint for it. I think his first year was also sort of small dip. But last year his growth was about 7% in GDP, which is, I think, spectacular for a country.
Mm-hmm. I would love to read some comparative political theory research on it to see if that really worked.
It's all based on Milton Friedman, no? And I learned from Katie Wood today also that she is almost 60, I believe, and she was alive during the Reagan term. And she says this actually what's at the beginning of the 80s is actually what we are reliving again.
Yeah.
And it's Reagan did exactly the same. He just cut a lot of government spending. Therefore, he could lower income tax. And therefore, the economy went better. Yeah. And I think somebody said, and I think we also asked it, what is the master plan behind all this? When are they actually going to...
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
We need a master plan, definitely.
And I think everybody is still looking at this whole project. Okay, but what's the master plan? And I've heard some different theories. But one of the theories is actually getting income tax lower and actually taxing the consuming part. So that's an experiment which nobody has done yet.
If you get rid of income tax is even one thing that is on the table.
And if they succeed in this, then they have the complete popular vote backing them, and then they'll be all right. But
I would be happy to see it.
Are combined with getting the government spending lower and the income tax lower. So it's
the longer this.
But I'm not sure yet if everybody understands and whether this is the master plan. I mean,
how it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the longer that the stock market is down and this uncertainty is there, and you have mass unemployment, those things combined will result in a very unhappy government people. And the longer that situation stays the same, the more and more dangerous it becomes for this government to keep on doing what they're doing. Because if you don't have like the people backing what you're doing.
But Kees, can we please go to a Tesla kind of things? Because
Yeah.
I think we're talking a little bit about things that which is a little bit above our heads, you know?
Above our pay grade, yeah.
And we're too dumb to discuss this.
Yeah. So the person was actually very right.
We
Yeah.
might be the dumbest group of people.
So we talked about it last week, right? I never followed politics. Well, not so much followed politics anyway.
Let's go back to business.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a cool thing is I've been looking up the 2025 predictions, and we're now almost a quarter in to see where we stand with most of our predictions that we made in that episode.
Yeah, so we made them in November, right?
Yeah. Oh. So we shared them in our podcast with November. So let's start at number 10. Further ramp of 4680. Lower prices lithium, improved margins on 2020 level. We have seen that a lot of work has been done on the battery side of things. In the last earnings call, there was some announcement that there was a small shortage that was being hit. But
that's the biggest train.
Yeah, biggest train. But they are putting full pedal on the metal to do that. Doge will accelerate new factories. Are we going to beat the 9-month record of Shanghai? The only new factory that is being announced right now is the energy factory, right?
Yeah.
No other factories yet.
No.
India?
Oh, there's some rumors about India, but there is
I'm
no...
looking for US
No,
factories.
it's the only one.
Sorry?
It's the only one.
Yeah.
I also think they said that for the cars, they don't need bigger footprint of factories.
Yeah. Do you think Mexico is totally off the table?
Well, 25% tariffs, yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it's
But
it's
if
off the
they're
table,
only
right?
producing, like it's Tesla's point is always to have a factory on every continent, right? That produces for that market specifically. So then the tariffs argument no longer exists, because if the Mexico factory produces solely for the South American market, these tariffs don't impact it, right?
They don't care about electric cars in South America. Not yet, at least.
Ask Milai.
Well, they opened a Tesla store in Chile.
Yeah, one.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the start. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're huge.
But let's say what was this, number 9?
Yeah,
It didn't work out yet.
No, the dumbest prediction.
Not yet. So my prediction here was that Doge will start accelerating new factories.
It didn't happen yet.
Didn't happen yet.
Well, he said that he's very busy with Doge, so it was quite hectic for him to run his other companies as well.
Almost unable
Which
to.
I think is not really good for Tesla and all his other companies, but
Yeah, and
He was almost crying when he was asked
and
yesterday.
something that is also not so positive is that he say if I expel the total corruption, they will kill me.
Yeah.
But I tried to look it up on X. There's this post from Sawyer Merritt on the 18th of February from Tesla's website itself. First, let me read out the post. Tesla is now officially hiring in India. That's a sign that it plans to enter the country soon. Tesla has posted 13 job openings on its website, ranging from vehicle service, sales, and customer support to operations positions. So these are the first 13 job openings that would lead you to assume that, like, okay, they're definitely going on sales.
yeah, but these are all indeed salespeople, right?
Yeah.
Customer support, etc., store manager. So
But
That's a month ago. So yeah,
but China is not very much of a needle mover what they predict. But maybe on energy side can be big as well, right?
Do you know, I just booked a flight yesterday. You know to which country, which city?
Mumbai.
Mumbai, India.
Very nice.
Mr. Manila. Oh no, that's just someone else.
Don't you talk about me?
So the number next to
I'm
it
coming
is
to India. I'm coming to America.
the Roadster launch. That has not been happening yet, right?
Not?
The Roadster.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so waiting for that one.
Well, there are some rumors that the new Model S is going to look a lot like the Roadster that they initially presented.
So that is a new addition, actually, that the Model S and X will be refreshed.
Yeah.
500 plus Optimus working in the Tesla factories. It's quite silent around Optimus.
This will happen.
Yeah, this will happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
We will see a video.
Yeah, I think the reason that they're keeping it silent is because there's a lot of competition. So I follow it quite closely. Figure AI, who's already shipping to customers, doing a really good job. They had a collaboration with OpenAI, which they actually killed, the guys from Figure AI.
And why?
But there is I don't know.
Okay.
So there is a lot of
Because it's a scam.
Yeah.
Altman.
Scam Altman. Well, let's not go there again. But there's a lot happening there. I think the reason that they're not sharing is just to keep the secrets close to the chest and the cards close to the chest.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Figure AI.
Is the new robot arm Optimus hand already being presented? Because there was a third generation hand.
Yeah, they already did, right? So I think they had it at the event as well.
Yeah, they showed
the 10
off.
event. Yeah. You had the hand, and then they did some ball catching, and so they
already
shared some
November.
things. I think Elon mentioned during one of the earnings calls, like, we don't want to share too much because we see that we're copied.
Are you going to put up the video that they shared last week, where they actually shared the mission of Tesla, and then you saw the semis driving through the factory?
Yeah.
Also the Robovan being built.
That video.
I'm sure that we will see some kind of video like this. Then we will see thousands of Optimus working in the...
Yeah.
Well, we will get that video somewhere.
My guess
quarter.
will be that they're already doing useful work in the factory, but we don't have videos of it yet.
I'd agree.
Yeah, you would?
Yeah.
I got the video here. It's 1 minute 40, so it's a quick video. We can take a quick look at it. Okay, I'll put it on the big screen. Let me restart it.
Our mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
It's only possible because of the incredible people here at Tesla. They are absolutely committed to the cause of sustainable energy, and that is why we can do what no other company can do.
Did you see it?
We can make lower cost products that are still efficient and compelling, and we can make them at scale. We're going to build them all in compact and high output factories that are easy for us to build quickly.
We work together in a way that allows us to ask the hard questions.
This is the product that will retire fossil fuels.
We're not just creating products, we're creating a movement for sustainable energy for everyone.
What we're trying to convey is a message of hope and optimism. Optimism that is based on actual physics. Earth can and will move to a sustainable energy economy, and will do so in your lifetime.
Amazing.
The solution to scalable FSD is getting the architecture, the data, and the compute just right, and we have assembled a world-class team to execute on this.
Every truck that we put on the road that replaces a diesel truck makes a huge difference towards driving us towards our total mission of sustainable energy and transportation.
You can see and you can feel the collaboration that's happening and the pride that everyone has in working for Tesla.
What no other company.
Dope. And this is Robovan.
Yeah.
We see it here in the making.
Really amazing video.
When I look at this video, I'm looking back at our conversation at the beginning of this podcast that we're talking about Extinction Rebellion, and they are fighting. We want to kill fossil fuels, and in the middle of this video, this product, all these products are going to kill fossil fuels
in this lifetime.
Not the guys sitting on the streets and protesting
and the
without action.
Completely right, Florian.
But But also there, like oil isn't everything, right? Tires, etc. So there will still be some.
No, but that's also what Elon is saying, is that let's not overdo what our mission is. Our mission is to actually get everybody as fast as possible to a sustainable
economy
without doing very stupid radical stuff as killing nuclear energy, as killing coal, etc. Probably for the next 30 years, we will still need a lot of oil in order to
maybe we need
to keep our civilization going.
5x energy need with AI, right? So it's we need tremendous amounts of energy.
Yeah, we do.
No, but it's also great to appreciate where Tesla has already been coming. Like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, there was still so much that needed to be proven. Now
still is.
Still is. So people don't realize how much of the early innings of Tesla we're still seeing here, and so therefore I was also very much excited about point number 5, that the new energy factory was being launched, because only that mega packs are such an amazing product to stabilize the grid, to get rid of peaker plants. The most polluting coal factories, and that video I think is very, very powerful to strengthen that the Tesla mission. So
definitely,
I'm really excited if I look at these videos. Yeah, and it's a shame that Elon cannot put more time in those kind of things.
But they're doing this more and more, and that's like Tesla never really did marketing, you know. But in the last,
they made nice videos for a couple of years.
But like mostly product launches, product releases, and they're more and more getting behind the mission, what they're doing. And one question,
I think it's also good to remind people that this is the mission.
100%.
And Tesla is not only Elon.
100. But in this video, I still see solar roof, but like that's the most forgotten thing in the whole Tesla ecosystem, if you ask me, right?
But they're still pushing it. And they're developing it mainly with new homes.
Okay.
Redoing houses with that are existing appear to be one of the most complex engineering problems, because every roof is different and roofs have a lot of weird shapes. And now they're just they don't do those roofings themselves anymore. They just distribute the product to the construction companies. But solar is not top priority for them. But Tesla is basically 2 things. It's transport, and energy storage, and energy generation. And that whole energy generation and storage thing are solutions for companies like large-scale battery solutions and farms, but also small scales to make houses independent of the grid. And for me, that is still a very promising product line that can grow together with the company.
Yeah.
Where do you also think in June, Florian, that RoboVan will be driving around in Austin?
RoboVan.
We have not talked about that.
No, that will be awesome. Yeah, I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know.
I don't think so as well. It's different.
I don't know how the regulation is being put up, but is it possible to actually put this on the streets?
Yeah, maybe in tunnels. Can be.
In the birth tunnel. It doesn't fit the birth tunnel, does it?
Maybe new generation tunnel, I don't know. But
well, I learned that there was the roof of the RoboVan is actually quite peculiar.
Okay.
So it fits the tunnels of
boring
the Boring
tunnels.
company.
Yeah. So the first
so the roof is like shaped like this, like a
triangle.
Triangle, I believe. I'm not sure where I heard this, but
Sandy Monroe will publish a video this week where he talks with the team.
Okay, cool.
And one of the things he's sitting in, having that interview, is in the RoboVan.
That video hasn't been published yet, no?
It's coming this week.
It can be one of the surprises to start seeing it. I also still curious where it is produced. I would assume in Fremont or in Austin will be R&D thing, but it can also be together with the semi-ramp, but we have not seen RoboVans driving around.
And we've only seen just the one, right, at the Robotaxi event.
But the economics of the RoboVan are also ridiculous if they can let it ride in a couple of high urban environments.
Let alone all the use cases that you can let loose on the...
But alone just explaining how the RoboVan is actually made, how much it will cost, how it is designed,
That's going to be interesting for so many people.
Yeah.
Next on my list is the semi-ramp. We have seen that in that video as well, but the official date is, I think, November. Are you aware when the factory is on full scale?
No, not entirely.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. But I think the ramp up is actually last quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Let me ask Grok. I'll Grok it in the meantime.
Yeah.
I think a few thousands already end of this year.
Okay.
Being produced. So.
Yeah. Not sure.
I believe 4,000 or something.
Yeah. When
faster
was
than
it?
Grok.
When was it? It was about a year ago that we visited Hamburg, right? Where we
No, Hannover.
Hannover, where we had our first Tesla semi experience.
Definitely. Yeah, I had the chance to sit in it. Well, Grok gave me quite a big answer.
Pilot builds. Pilot
builds. So that's pre-production testing in the second half of 2025. Full production is expected to commence in the first half of 2026, with a ramp-up continuing throughout that year to achieve what could be considered full speed, and that's 50,000 semi-trucks on an annual basis.
I think I got this number from AJ.
Oh, yeah.
So
maybe this thing is not really going to move the needle, I think.
No, at some point in one of the earnings calls they made the announcement that it will impact the financials, but everything compares to FSD or RoboCabs, CyberCabs is going to be a very minor portion of Tesla's future revenue, of course.
Yeah.
What's more on the list?
Production CyberCab live in Austin. Well, that is being announced, of course, in June.
So that's going to happen. Still think it will be a bit later.
Really funny that you mention it, because in percentages, what's the likelihood of that we are actually going to see CyberCab on the streets in Austin in a pilot?
When do you mean?
Yeah, like in a like a percentage probability
this year or in June?
It will happen in June.
We see CyberCabs on the road in June.
Exactly.
I think 25%.
25%?
That we will see like 50 or 100 of them.
Okay, Kenny.
10 to 15% that we see one.
Yeah, I'm 100%. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, but in June.
Yeah, it's announced, right? It's announced in June. So now I don't...
We had also 8.8, which became 10.10.
Let's make it 80% then. So as of this point, there's not being said it is delayed. Maybe it will be delayed. It can be. But as of this point, the announcement is June. So let's see.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely sure that we will see more than 100, maybe hundreds, and maybe even more than 1,000 CyberCabs at the end of this year driving around somewhere in the US.
What was it? Elon said they can drive around it in it for free. Is that actually a comment he made, or
he did?
Yeah,
but that was driving around for free in a Robotaxi network.
Okay,
so he didn't say CyberCab.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see. I got the affordable car, less than 30K.
But you don't have the answer, Kees. You just had the question.
I'm really curious because we have been talking about this for quite some time.
But what's your percentage then?
Well, it's difficult because the closer we get to June, and like the less and less we actually hear about it, so I get a little bit more pessimistic because I need some good news from time to time. But I think if I must say, I would give it a 60 to 70% probability that it will happen.
The driving around.
What's that in your character that you sometimes get pessimistic?
I don't know. It's just me.
It's also with regulation.
Wouldn't you get pessimistic because of regulation then?
No, but you're far more positive about regulation at this moment for FSD Europe.
Yes and no. So just look at my post on X and make of it what you think. But yeah, I'm only reporting. I'm not that positive. I'm still quite wary and like cautious about what I say.
You are realistic, or
I think so, yeah. And there are some loopholes that I'm going to report about that exemption thing. I've been spending, I think, at least 5 hours looking into it, grokking the hell out of it, but also ChatGPT. Still undecided on who's the winner in this case, but the deep search functionality helps out big time. But like for people that own and drive a Tesla, FSD supervised, like full pool as we see in the United States, ain't gonna happen. Not anytime soon. Then ADS, like full level 5, better chance, but still the first draft regulation we'll see in June 2026 at its earliest. So in that respect, I'm not super positive. However, with that exemption, it will allow them to have, let's say, between 1,000 and 2,000 cars driving around. Because for technical innovations, you can use 1 or 2 articles in EU legislation, so not UNECE, but EU, to get an exemption from the type approval authority and have those cars on the road. So, yeah, it's in between.
So what's your number for the CyberCab's percentage on the road?
You said 60 to 70.
60, 70?
In June.
60%?
In June in Austin, right?
60 to 70.
Yeah, so he's like the number 2 of the 4 of us.
Yeah.
So I'm positive, but
you're pessimistic still.
Yeah.
So that's pessimism for you.
His number is decreasing, is what he says. I think it doesn't get any confirmation.
A lot can happen. So I'll be closely.
In a month we have another earnings. So.
You're far below pessimistic. You're
a retard.
Well, no, I just got used to the delays and stuff. So things will take more time.
How you call that when he is even below pessimistic?
No, that's a sort of a form where you try to look intelligent to be very pessimistic, and then you sound smarter. But
can we please make a clip of this? And when it's not in June.
I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. That's the whole thing. No, but I think the reason why I'm optimistic is you basically already see them driving around the factory all day.
Yeah, that testing.
And then Joe Techmeyer videos, you see daily CyberCabs driving around. It's not on a daily basis, but a few times a week.
Yeah.
Where you see them driving around without somebody operating that.
Maybe you can bring up the video. It looks so smart. The last video they showed of the CyberCab.
Yeah, and
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
and I think there can be many forms that are very accessible already for the CyberCab. Where it can drive around in certain areas, so like the CyberCab event, right? It was more or less a known area for the CyberCabs, but that can perfectly be a city center. And I think they want to have them out as soon as possible to get the final bits of basically user data coming in. I think that's tremendously important. So my scenario will be there's an area where they will be driving around, a sort of capped area. I don't say fenced area, but more sort of a capped area where they can operate. Then they will have all the final data coming in, and there will be some sort of backup where they are operated, sort of teleoperated, just as we have seen with the Optimus. But at this point, if you just connect the dots of the last 2 years, you've seen that they are ahead already with their manufacturing. In the book of Walter Isaacson, they already talk about Elon sleeping on that production line at that moment. Can be the affordable car. That's also one on my list. But the odds of that being the CyberCab is just super high. And Tesla is ready on all parts to bring this thing out and collect real data.
Did you find the video?
Well, I found the video, so that'll be next. But here's Dalton Brewer, valuable contributor to the Tesla community. Tesla has begun hiring for various positions related to CyberCab in Austin, Texas. Posted by a very reputable source and reliable source, Tesla Chan, in the community.
Rebillionaire creator.
Rebillionaire creator, definitely. Faux show. But here, there are some job openings. So, okay, I might need to adjust it to like a solid 75% right now.
You're getting very pessimistic now.
I'm like a woman right now. Okay, but here, boom. We see a CyberCab roaming around. This is not on public roads, by the way. But with stickering and fully blinded windows. That's also something a little bit weird because they're hiding something. So would that be a steering wheel inside or someone with a joystick or controller inside controlling this vehicle or operating this vehicle?
Yeah.
What would it be?
So it's not only the CyberCabs driving around, but also we see the cars having more and more capabilities of autonomous driving to the parking lots back and forth, driving to the ports back and forth. So they're leaving more and more to the car, and I'm just very. I think when they are in this stage, it's just going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. So, for example, you don't see. For example, with the Model Y, the latest Model Y, that's of course because you don't want to jeopardize sales, so they can be a little bit more out in the open with these kind of models. But June is still a couple of months away, so they're now testing in areas around the factory, but that area will be expanded. And we also forget about the whole cyber event that has been going on, where 50 of them were already driving around, right, on that day.
Yeah,
with thousands and thousands of people attending the event, booking rides already.
Is the regulation already clear in the US?
Because it's on the state level, and where we see that California, of course, has paved the way for autonomy with Waymo. So they're ready, and Tesla even filed for a transportation license, right? So that stems me really positive, at least for that state. And the regulatory landscape in Texas is very welcoming to FSD supervisors.
I think we'll know in a month, because if they reiterate at Q1 earnings, then it's 3 months away. They know what's in the pipeline for 3 months.
Exactly. So. I had an interesting this short discussion on X, by the way, with Steven Peters, Ike Steve. He's our he's from Belgium, and he reports about regulations as well. He saw something that you need to be able to have multiple colors around the vehicle. And I saw this video of a Model Y, like that rear light bar and the front light strip. They're not just white light on the front and red light on the back, but you can project all kinds of light. So by having that already on the vehicle, that can make sure you can communicate to other people because you don't have a driver anymore. So if you're vacant or if something's wrong with the vehicle, they can use those light bars. And the fact that they just released this Model Y with all this minor additions that make it just better again. They're thinking about this shit, like it's cool.
Are you getting more or less pessimistic?
Yeah,
now?
I'm at 89%.
95.
I was the most bullish one, right?
Case is at 110 now.
Just show me one more video and I'm completely. Yeah.
Are your nipples still hard?
I'm super confident that
you don't want to see what's happening underneath here, man.
Like said, June, and then the rest of the states in the rest of the years. 2025. Okay, it's maybe a bit of expectations management of Elon. 25. It will be a build up for a ridiculously good 26. So let's see. But from let's say May on, probably already this earnings call will be highlighted. What will be
needs to, because
going
it will be then in Q2. So
yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, there's also other stuff pointing to this. Very good news is but I don't know how your agenda is, but I've seen this video of Søren Becher where he actually showing the data coming out of FSD.
Let's look at it, because you've been pointing out this exact sentence
for years.
For years and years. Namely that it's 6 billion miles to get regulatory approval.
But it's about, so it was an estimate.
Yeah, but when are we going to reach this? Yep. And this is exactly the bit that our good friend Søren Becher is talking about in this video together with Randy Kirk. Make it big screen. It's like 1.5 minutes or so.
And since then, version 12 and 13 have contributed 2 billion since March of 2024. Right, so it took all these years to get to 1 billion, and then 9 months we got 2 billion more.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that I've been tracking is, when Elon said all the way back in 2016 that he thought it would take 6 billion cumulative miles,
right,
to get to the point where we have worldwide regulatory approval.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is, when is that likely to be? Okay, so the red arrow in this chart is where we were at the end of the year.
Okay.
And the yellow arrow is the 6 billion number.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, so
that's September 2025.
It's just around the corner.
How many days?
It's just around the corner, September 2025. So that's 6 months from now.
Are you getting more or less pessimistic now?
I'm 103% right now.
Look at this graph.
This is insane, right?
This is the wall we're looking at.
No.
Which Elon was talking about 2 years ago.
The regulatory wall, the big hurdle. Yeah, so can only recommend watching the complete video. By the way, Søren is coming soon, and we're gonna have a full robotaxi deep dive together with him, discussing also our big ideas about robotaxi.
Nice.
Yeah, and also what we have in mind for the coming period is to go to the whole Musk economy, doing deep dives and conversations about every. Let's say Elon Musk company.
Really looking forward to that.
Yeah. It's really amazing. I think it's also very important because the amount of value that Elon has been delivering in this world over the last decade is so insane, right?
And all forgotten by now. And all forgotten apparently.
Yeah, but I think it's actually important. I also get more energy from all the business things that he does. That's the angle where we started with, because Doge, when we met and set up this podcast, was not here.
No.
So it's actually also for us the brainchild.
It's a breath of fresh air to don't have to talk about politics.
I think when we discuss the whole Musk economy and see how much value he has been delivering in the world over the last 10 years, and also has his company set up to be the most influential companies over the next 10 years in terms of positive change that it can be, like the CyberCab. Never have to be on the steering wheel again for the rest of your life, having an Optimus in your house, helping you with mundane tasks, etc., all that.
Providing worldwide internet access, Starlink.
Yeah, gives you also some clues about what the possibilities will be with Doge, because Elon is a technologist. And it's not going to be, well, I'm just going to cut a little bit of cost and then it's there. So I'm expecting, and this is one of the things that for Mark Andreessen recently said in one of his podcasts, that within 3 or 4 months, they will announce a whole sort of government operating system that will basically make America so efficient like no other country in the world has been. So by just extrapolating the value that Elon has been creating over the last 10 years with his company is, I think, something we also going to see on a larger scale.
The whole Musk economy has a goal to go to Mars.
And
live on Mars and rule Mars. So Doge is going to be one part of that as well.
Of that the
factor.
USA will plant a flag on Mars.
Exactly.
Of course. But that for
the
me
golden age has just started.
I think that is the whole premise, because Master Plan 4 has been coming out, right?
We're still waiting for it.
We're still waiting for Master Plan Part 4.
I think that's on the to-do list somewhere.
Yeah, but we're also looking for the master plan of Trump, of the US.
Might be tangled to each other.
I think, that will be exactly my point. Those two are going to be entangled with each other. Because if you look at all the Elon Musk companies right now, let's have Boring Company, we have Tesla, we have SpaceX, we have X, we have the Neuralink company. All of these companies right now are on the verge of going sort of hyperscale, right? So Tesla at this point, they have a good cash pile. It's a healthy company. All the technology is there. So the full self-driving, the batteries, etc. And now it's a matter of getting it to hyperscale. So the Starship now, the technology is almost ready to get to that point. Now it's going to go on hyperscale. So every week there will be new Starships being manufactured, and a couple, 1, 2, 3 years from now, let's say at least within 4 years, there will be one Starship coming off the production line every day. Boring Company is ready.
One Starship every day?
Yeah. So the whole goal is that... Sorry?
How? It's a huge thing. Like one per day being produced?
Yeah. By not having regulations, case. So
bureaucratic red tape.
Produced or launched? Because they will only be launched every 2 years. So there will be like 700 Starships launching together.
I don't know.
It's like a fleet of Starships.
It can.
Yeah, I don't know how that will play out, but they're ramping up all the capabilities there. With the Boring Company, their latest technology is that machine can drill itself into the ground and just basically start drilling from anywhere. That is going to have huge implications, of course, when we can finally start seeing that product.
Yep.
And within a window of, let's say, 4 years, so let's have a period of 0 to 4 years where Elon and his company can hyperscale uninterruptedly by not being burdened by difficult regulations. Can you imagine when right now they can manufacture a couple of Boring machines, but if they suddenly have 10,000 machines working together, so the transformation can also can go very fast. Same counts, I think, for the CyberCabs. How realistic is it 5 years from now that we can manufacture 5 million on a yearly base? I think that's above 50%, right? To get on that scale.
Yeah, that's why it's so interesting to follow all this and try to get a better grasp of it, because I'm still it's still mind-boggling sometimes, isn't it? I mean, for me, just showing this graph that the 6 billion is actually within 60 days is like, holy shit, this is a milestone which we've been looking out for a few years, and now it finally happened. So, and it was like a milestone, 6 billion cumulative miles of that's going to be so far away, you know.
Yeah.
And now we're here. And now what you're actually saying, so we will see 100 starships going into flight in 2 or 4 years.
Yeah,
we will see
like that,
thousands of, we will see millions of CyberCabs. How many Optimi will we see? It's like
millions.
If all goes well.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that Masterplan Part 4 will have some sort of overlap with the larger vision of the United States is that in one of the earlier interviews of Trump this year, you know, Trump always sort of spills the beans. He likes it when he got some new news told, and he said, "Yeah, we're going to do great with America." We're going to send rockets to space,
eVTOLs,
solve the problems of the scientific problems of the universe. And he even mentioned VTOLs, which is like a
vertical takeoff and landing.
Vertical takeoff and landing.
When did he do this?
Yeah, in
the State of the Union.
Yeah, not State of the Union, begin of the year.
Okay.
In one of his interviews. But the term VTOL is not something that Donald comes up with, right? So probably Elon already showed him something like Masterplan Part 4, and like, listen, I promise you all this amazing stuff. And sort of, if we can collaborate on all these big things.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Masterplan Part 4 is on its way. But all of Tesla's companies are now all of Elon's companies are now at the point that they can reach hyperscale, but they need a very efficient operating system as a country to work with.
And maybe a CEO who's not as active in politics anymore
would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good if it wouldn't be needed anymore. So that can also be a scenario, right?
Works
A
in
half
both
year
ways.
from now that he delegates all that work.
What are we going to talk about then?
Huh?
What are we going to talk about
VTOLs.
then? VTOLs.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All
so
right.
how crazy would it be, like if all the UFO sightings and all that has been keeping people up for a long time, that all those things are Elon's VTOLs that are already flying around somewhere.
It's been Elon all along.
Yeah.
He is an alien.
I don't think so. He always said, like, I had never seen alien life. If I would share it on X right away.
99.9% chance that it's
No. But
not true.
recently in New Jersey, there were like drones with the size of SUVs sort of hovering over that city. And still to this day, there has not been an explanation of who they were. So they're still guessing, like, are
could
these
also be Chinese or
So they're guessing, are these Chinese? But if they're Chinese, isn't this then a national security
risk?
Issue? So that is going to be a very exciting thing. So one of the on the top of the list is, of course, FSD, China and Europe. You touched Europe already, but China is super exciting as well, right?
Yeah. China looks good.
We're
We had some discussion about, like, if they can train on photos from the internet, and what is the mode, right? So why can't others do it as well? But I think what it has shown to me, actually, based on the videos that you see, is that on the beginning, it drove quite okay, but still had some lags, in my opinion. So based on the videos that I saw, but it went very fast to, like, a really good FSD. So I think the foundation model of FSD is really built based on the backbone of what they have in the US.
Yeah, and that's exactly correct, because the whole foundation, the whole driving model as it is right now, is perfectly capable of driving. The only thing that they use this synthetic data for
it needs to learn the rules.
Yeah, so for slight differences, because if you get into a car in, let's say, India, you're gonna have a bad time, but it's not impossible. And if you take 2 weeks or a month, well, you'll be honking your way through the cars as well. So that's what they've been doing, and so to me, there's no hurdles.
For me, it became very clear how Omar gave an analogy about it. It was like they released FSD 2 weeks ago in China, And it was like an American flew over to China and started driving in China.
Exactly this, yeah.
And now they're feeding the local data into the system. That data cannot be exported to the US, but it can be fed into the American. And the American will become more Chinese every day.
Yeah.
So, and that's the amazing part of this foundation model, that it can drive already everywhere. It can even drive in India, for example, but it won't go very far. But the same holds true. It can, if Tesla wants it, they can just release it here in Europe as well.
Do you think it's going to impact financials, Kenny? And because China has been producing many cars already with FSD. FSD is now being released there. Is that a deferred revenue thing or?
Good question. Possibly, yes. Yeah. I think so. We're not sure about the take rate, and the take rate explains like how many people who buy Tesla cars actually also buy FSD.
Yeah.
So that's a certain percentage, right? There's all been guessing around, but I think it will be somewhere between 10 and 20% based on historical numbers. But if FSD is becoming really, really good and Chinese people are very open to trying new technologies and they're really technology driven, so the take rate could go up. And based on achieving full self-drive, you comply with more rules to recognize revenue. So that could have a potential impact already on Q1.
And you're talking about that deferred
revenue being recognized. Yeah.
In Europe, that must be huge as well, I think, right? If you have your data of the take rate of full self-driving and you apply that to the whole fleet in Europe, that's
not completely representative, because we have been like pushing actively for it, and we jumped on the bandwagon as well, because like in 2020 and there were some points in time that there was like the hype was real, so that helped us out big time, and also the price increases helped big time.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious also, maybe if someone else in the community can let us know, like, what has been happening to the actual take rate in Europe and in the United States and worldwide?
They don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. It's all assumption based. Yeah. I think back in the days they shared it.
What I also learned is that FSD is only being sold as a buying option. So you can only pay for it. There's no option to subscribe to it yet.
In
China?
States?
In China.
Okay.
Yeah,
could be.
Definitely.
No.
Yeah. In the US, not anymore as well, right? Can you subscribe to?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
99 euros.
Yeah.
Dollars.
I would be very much in favor of having that kind of software model for it.
Instead of able to buy it.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense, but it does diminish your, like from a trying point of view, it makes perfect sense. But if you decide to purchase it, you have a lot more rights when it comes to, if you want to have it on your next Tesla as well, to transfer FSD from vehicle to vehicle.
So that would be stupid. I'd rather have people pay for it per month, right? Have high revenue and high margin revenue, sorry. Well, if they have a one-time fee of 7.5K and they drive 50 years with it, like, I'd rather have 50 years of full FSD being sold every month.
Transferring it to new vehicles.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
But they have done it, so.
Yeah, they've done it in the past. And Elon said a couple of times, it's the last time. But people kept asking for it. I don't think it will happen.
What will happen if robotaxi is allowed everywhere and you are able to put your car on the robotaxi network and you don't have FSD package? Will Tesla say, I want you to first buy FSD package?
No.
Nope.
Then it would be just a subscription
you will be
model.
excluded. No, you will be excluded, I think.
No,
if you don't have the hardware for it.
Why should they?
Well, because he's already said, like, everyone who bought FSD and is on old hardware, if it doesn't facilitate FSD, we're going to change the hardware. But it's going to be
a retrofit.
No, but
exactly.
my question is, why shouldn't you allow somebody who hasn't bought FSD to put your car on the network? Why should Tesla exclude that part of the fleet?
They will not.
So it can be put online to the network, but if you use it and it's offline, you won't have FSD, right? So that's what you're saying?
Or there will be different network fees. So if you bought FSD, you only pay 10% to get the revenue from the network. And without FSD, you pay 30-40%. But that's something that we have to look for as well.
Yeah, and we'll only find out once they let us know.
Once they have it, yeah. It's all assumption.
Yeah. So it's for me, it's still a sort of weird thing that more than 2/3 of the entire Tesla fleet, let's say half of the Tesla fleet globally, is not being updated with the software yet, simply due to regulation. So
it's also to protect people, right?
I get it, but in Europe, it's
I've driven it for a couple of years, and sometimes it's really, really dangerous. Now it's dangerous because it's on the old version, but at the beginning it had like phantom brakes and I don't know what.
Yeah, but eventually your question is very valid because FSD will actually be safer than driving without FSD.
When it's safer use,
yeah.
But now you can also say you're a guinea pig, right?
Not necessarily. Like if you put your if you put your full faith in the system right now and just close your eyes, then you're actually a guinea pig. But it's now supervising. So
but I think even Sawyer Merritt had like his rims and his like his tire blew up because it.
But that never happens with human pilots.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
But still, you use the system. So
yeah, I understand what you mean. Of course, we are kind of guinea pigs.
That's
part of the community as well.
But also in a controlled manner, like with what we saw with the safety scores. Like it wasn't like they released this to the general public. Like, hey, guinea pigs, thanks for the data. They carefully selected the people that could gather that data and train the system on. So they. Yeah,
and people chose to buy the software, so they just want to be early, and they're happy to pay more. And
true, I like it as well.
So some total different question, but I think something also that is going to influence 2025 is the profitability of other EVs. Are we aware of one of the EV maker that is making profitable EVs already?
BYD?
Yeah.
No, not on electric vehicles.
Well, BYD not at all?
They're only profitable because they have plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, and they also have gas-powered vehicles. But nobody knows if they're making money on the electric
Xiaomi
vehicles.
ones, are those profitable?
No, there's no other company than Tesla which is profitable on purely electric vehicles.
I think there is.
No, there's not. Yeah. I'm 100% sure.
Let's find this.
And you can. AJ is also posting these kind of graphs.
Cool. Yeah.
So you see the graph. You see the first the money furnace, the cash going out, and then the cash going up. But there's only one company who's in the plus. That's Tesla. And there are some companies who are actually getting beyond the dip and getting up.
Yeah.
But they're still negative.
That will be Jaguar, right?
So Lee is actually positive.
Oh yeah, Lee Auto. Yeah.
Lee Auto.
Who's Lee Auto? I never heard of that one.
Yeah, they make a really small car, and that actually.
No.
But
They make
are the Xiaomi's one profitable?
But the Lee Auto, the smallest car, that was like the biggest competitor in terms of sales.
No way that Lee Auto is positive on a unit base.
Yeah,
net profits.
Well, they had earnings in 2024 of like $1. So yes, they are.
So the whole
2024.
Yeah, 2023 already.
No.
Let's
double
look
check
this up because it's.
I'll come back on it next week.
Definitely.
So it's a good one.
Make a bet.
And if the listeners or watchers have something or viewers have something,
do we bet on it?
Yeah,
I would.
Can you look into Xiaomi as well to see what's going on there? Because they have really, I think, high quality EVs
nice
as
cars,
well.
Yeah.
Xiaomi,
but not sure if they're profitable. And the reason why I'm saying this is if your competition is putting out cars against a loss and then stealing a little bit of market share of you. So one of my predictions of 25 will be is that Tesla will actually gain market share again over their competitors in the main markets. China, Europe, and the US.
Xiaomi is also positive, but they also sell mobile phones and smartphone software.
Xiaomi is a very
consumer
big
electronics
brand.
Yeah.
Very big brand.
And they have the speed record on the Nürburgring.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And actually, right now, if
with
you
TVs.
Yeah.
Or just in Just
with
general.
like in general, I wouldn't know, but I would assume so because like acceleration is quite
and
insane.
they're really affordable as well.
Yeah,
affordable EVs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you buy one?
No, Tesla only.
Yeah,
and never change a winning team. No, it's the most comfortable, luxury, chilled vehicle I've ever owned. No, wouldn't change it. No,
I would be interested. I just curious to.
I would want to have
see.
another car on the side though.
Well, the guy from Ford, Jim.
Yeah,
I think
Jim
is his name.
Farley. Yeah,
he drove like a car every 5 days, a different car from competitors to see like what are they doing, how is it driving.
It's actually a good tactic.
Yeah, and he's really not so happy with what he see that is coming from China. So,
Florian, I grokked your question.
Which one?
About profitability.
Oh, and?
As of March 11th, 2025, Tesla is widely recognized as the only electric vehicle original equipment manufacturer. So, yeah, OEM. That's what OEM stands for. That is consistently profitable.
As of which date?
Today.
And what is consistently?
Yeah, and among other notable EV OEMs, the picture is less clear. BYD is often cited as profitable, particularly due to its massive sales volume.
Yeah.
Over 3 million new energy vehicles.
Yeah, but they sell mostly
like hybrids.
Yeah,
hybrids.
Yeah, so it's not pure EV.
Pure evil?
Yeah, pure EV. Other major EV players such as NIO, XPeng, Li Auto, Rivian, Lucid are generally not profitable. But let's dive into this further because it's
I'll
a
come
great
back on it
comparison
next
to
week.
make.
Yeah.
Let's make a bet how big the chance is that Kenny's going to win.
I put all my trust in this walking calculator.
I don't give him more than 5%.
No, but
Kenny.
My point is that Tesla's market share has been growing over the last couple of years, but the small percentages that they're losing to some competitors are artificially. So if you have if none of your competitors is profitable, at some point they need to do something, right? Because you cannot. I think that there was a calculation made of Ford that they make 35K-ish on average loss per car, that they could rather buy Teslas and hand them out to consumers. So isn't sort of the hidden story here that Tesla actually has a market share of 100% in EVs?
In profitable electric vehicles, they have 100% market share.
Yeah, because I
think what you're referring to, that aren't the other car makers like in a catch-22? Because they need to compete against a company which is already profitable for many years.
Yeah.
And is at the beginning of hyperscaling.
Yeah.
They have the AI already in place, which is going to be a very luxurious good, especially in China. Which Chinese is going to buy a Chinese competitor if it doesn't drive itself?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
true. I think it's going to be a very it's going to take a long time before the competitors are going to get profitable. It's going to if they're going to get profitable even.
Yeah. So right now Tesla is battery constrained, right? So while can you imagine if Tesla is battery constrained with all the resources they're already putting into this? And also in one of the earlier shareholder calls, they said other OEMs are, actually halting their purchase of batteries in that market, or at least they're a bit more conservative with what they predicted. So Tesla is also buying those batteries.
It's unbelievable that Tesla is still market leader while still producing cars which have a price which is
Kees, can you
almost double of the near competitor.
We're also almost at 2 hours, guys.
Yeah, one moment. Kees, can you look up the
last week I was like, hey, guys, let's talk, man. I want to go to bed.
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry. Yeah, so 2 hours, man.
I think
hungry as well.
I'm gonna grab the food.
I think he had a proper Deloitte holiday, so he's.
If you don't just interrupt me all the time, no, just kidding. What is the market share of Tesla in the US?
Oh, let's grok it.
Of EVs, EV market share in the US and Europe.
What?
I think it was
Sorry,
around
the market share from Tesla or
from Tesla in
the EV market?
Yeah, it was like 40 to 60%, right? Something in that realm.
Yeah.
In the US or global?
Yeah, US. US, they have like 50% of the electric vehicle market.
I grok it now. Grok.
At least a year ago was like that.
44.
49.6, and the winner is...
And Europe?
In Europe, they have like 20%, 18 or 20.
Yeah, but Volkswagen is not profitable as well with their EVs.
How is that possible? Because they're loved in Germany, right?
Yeah, it's the most popular swastika car around.
Yeah. So it's
that's Porsche.
With the driving swastika on the hubcaps.
With your Hugo Boss boots on. But
Tesla had a 19 share, 90%.
90%.
You're good in the numbers, Florian.
But
it's almost as if you're a fleet owner.
If you are the only profitable one and the rest is loss making, what does then market share say?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it says something about your sales.
With you.
If you look at the smartphones, I think 80% of the profits go to Apple.
Yeah, that's
worldwide.
Profits. But
the profit share. Yeah.
But we have seen.
Yeah, so in the electric vehicle market share, 100% of the profits go to Tesla.
Yeah.
If you want to make that comparison,
maybe 150% because the rest is
because the
loss-making.
rest is losing.
The ZEV credits
Zero
are
emission
coming from the gas companies, the OEMs to Tesla, and with every car being produced, that number will get bigger as well. So even if everybody is kicking and shouting, we don't want to buy Teslas anymore, but we're going to buy Volkswagens, Tesla is going to earn even more. So it's crazy how they built this system within that market.
Yeah. So I'm very curious how Europe develops. I'm not very aware of Volkswagen's electric vehicle numbers.
Should we do another hour on Volkswagen?
Make it 3.
Yeah.
3?
I love it.
3 hours.
Why not?
No, but I think Volkswagen is not profitable as well.
No, on the electric
on the
vehicle
EVs,
front.
no.
Not
BMW
at all.
is
separate EV from ours.
There are also not even numbers about it.
Okay.
It's completely top secret.
It's somewhere on the floppy drive.
Ford shared, and they were like in one quarter down.
Ford is the only one who's
1 billion
open
or
about
something.
it. They actually split their company. But
yeah. So that is sort of my hidden surprise in 25 that it must come out at a certain point because otherwise shareholders will become very annoyed.
What must come out?
No, but this is the biggest secret of the whole automotive industry. Is that they aren't able to get their EV profitable.
Yeah, that's not a secret, right?
Well, they're trying to keep it a secret because they're not open about it.
Yeah. So and Volkswagen
that's what you're saying.
Yeah. Volkswagen is manufacturing, I think, 500,000 of EVs a year. If that's not at the profit, then what is the market share gain?
And with declining gas vehicles, that's the valley of death that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
the valley of death is actually happening as of this year and next year.
Yeah,
can you grok the total value of all car makers in the world? Market cap.
Well, it's less than the total market cap of Tesla.
Yeah, so it's a nothing burger.
What's the?
It's less than the total market cap of Tesla.
Total market cap of all companies making cars.
Cars or EVs?
Cars.
It's not even 1 trillion.
Yeah, I think so because you have like a Ferrari.
Cards.
No.
Sorry, shopping carts. Nope.
No, but let's
it's about 1 trillion.
Yeah. Okay. So if they would take 100% of the market, then they're still at the same valuation that they have now, maybe 20% upside.
Yeah, only for the cars.
Yes.
But the share price right now. It's like $70 or $60. It's for the cars.
Yeah, at most. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you look tired, Kenny. So
I'm not tired, man. I'm just getting started.
Very
what does
good.
it say?
Game
it includes Tesla, of course.
Yeah, approximately 2.9 trillion dollars to 3.1
trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions.
We're
Okay,
gonna
so we
save-
take off 1.3. So there's still a bit left because it said here Tesla's at 1.3, and I can tell you it is not anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So on that positive bombshell, let's end this episode.
Yeah, but it will be good to go into that market share and who's actually per region the largest competitor and what their profitability is.
We made a start with covering the Musk economy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Any last words from Doge?
No, please don't.
All right, then.
See you again next time. Right?
He's looking for something.
For the road
See you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.